So we were having some microphone issues, but I did want to come on here for a little bit tonight because we do have active severe weather that we have taking place right now. Across South Dakota, we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, as well as over in Virginia and West Virginia. So let's start here with our storm in Virginia, coming into West Virginia here, kind of right on the border of that area, kind of going to be coming here from West Virginia into Virginia. This particular storm right now showing about 1 inch hail on it. It's moving here off to the southeast, as you can see. Just now coming out of the Montcalm area and going to be moving here into Virginia. Thankfully, these storms here are starting to weaken, so that is the good news. This particular severe thunderstorm warning, it does stay in effect here till 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and that is for Bland, Giles, Mercer, and Tazewell County there in Virginia and West Virginia. Now, if we come over here to South Dakota, these storms here, much more potent, some big hail-producing storms. This particular storm also right now showing about a 1 inch hail core on it, just going to pass here east of the Whitehorse, South Dakota area. And then just off to the west of it, over here, we have another severe thunderstorm warning. This is moving here into Pamelee, South Dakota. Expect some big hail coming here into Pamelee. We're looking at about 1 1/4 inch hail, 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible with both of these storms as they are moving here off to the north-northwest through this evening. Eventually, this will be getting up here toward the I-90 region, I believe that is. Coming up here toward Belvedere and toward Okoton. So all these areas here, right now a lot of rain there, but just keep an eye to your south because these are some large hail producing storms. This one particularly, we're starting to see even that hail core grow. Let's look here at the hail core here on this particular storm. We can flip over here to our vertically integrated, and yeah, some really big hail now starting to come in with this storm. Also seeing a little bit of rotation on this particular storm right now. MSI strength at about 2994, velocity right now 35 knots, but that's fairly high up in the atmosphere at about 15,000 feet. Yeah, hail on this now up to a 2 inch hail core on this particular storm here. That is just now north of Spring Creek and St. Francis. Again, Pamelee, you are pretty much right in the direct path if you're on the east side of Pamelee here with this particular hail core. And then keeping an eye on this storm here as well, passing now just off to the east of Whitehorse, South Dakota. That storm looks like it is weakening. The storm here off to the west definitely intensifying. So again, severe thunderstorm warning here for Melody and Todd County. This here goes for about another 30 minutes, so till about 9:30 p.m. Central Time on that warning. And this warning here, our bigger of the two storms here, this is in effect here for another hour, so that will go till about 10 p.m. Central Time. So we've seen quite a bit of hail with today's storm system. And Storm Prediction Center actually still has a enhanced risk out for today that we can see. So we are expecting more storms to begin firing up off to the south across portions of Nebraska into Kansas. And there's also a tornado watch that has been issued as well for portions of Texas into southwest Oklahoma. So again, this is turning out to be a nighttime severe weather event that we are seeing here. So definitely need to keep our eye on this as we move into the evening. So let me kind of show you what we're looking at here with the Storm Prediction Center. So again, here's kind of what we're looking at. You can see the watches that have now been issued. This does not include, so we have this tornado watch number 113. This goes until 3 a.m. Central Daylight Time. We have, they're giving moderate tags all across the board with this particular watch, which is for much of south central Nebraska through much of central and portions of western Kansas into northwest Oklahoma and the northeast Texas Panhandle. So again, we are expecting a few tornadoes likely, with a couple of intense tornadoes possible with this particular tornado watch area. Could also see some damaging wind gusts in excess of 75 miles per hour possible. That is definitely not out of the question. This is where we're keeping an eye on those storms that have now moved out of this watch here into South Dakota, where we have had those severe thunderstorm warnings across the area. And then we also have a couple mesoscale discussions out here. So this is what we're looking at right now. Renewed severe thunderstorm development, including a few supercells possible through 9 to 10 p.m. And again, looking back at our live radar here, you can see these supercells definitely starting to, just like they were saying here from the Storm Prediction Center, starting to see these re-intensify here as they're coming into South Dakota. So definitely have to keep an eye on these as well as we move into the evening. So we've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings we're keeping an eye on. We're expecting more as we get later into the evening, into the overnight hours. So make sure, folks, if you live in these areas, that you have a way to receive those severe weather warnings. If you're in Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, even all the way down into Texas, it's going to be a long night, and it's really dangerous when you have these significant storms that we're expecting moving through in the late night hours into the overnight hours. This can be definitely something that most people aren't really prepared for in some areas. So we really have to keep a close watch on things that, as you get into the overnight, and make sure you have those ways to receive those warnings. And I want to take a look here. We're going to flip over here in just a moment, and we'll kind of take a look at what we're expecting here through the overnight hours across these portions. So let me move back over here. Tornado parameter here, and let's zoom in here. Let's focus right now across the central U.S. because that's what we're expecting. So we can see some of these numbers here across portions of Kansas into Texas, and we can see this progress as we go through the next couple of hours. We're going to see this tornado potential kind of rapidly increase here in the next couple of hours across these areas. So it really kind of focuses here across Oklahoma, but it does spread up here into Kansas, down into the Wichita Falls, Texas area. And that's why they've issued those tornado watches, because we do see a surge of tornado potential here across these areas. And even if we look here across, particularly like southwest Oklahoma here, we're seeing some pretty high numbers here on the significant tornado parameter index. And we can look at our low level cape for the same area. And we see it kind of intensify here over the next couple of hours. So definitely something we're going to have to keep a close eye on as we get into the evening this evening. Moving across Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, all of those areas are in the line of fire this evening. So, hey Corin, great to have you on the live stream with us this evening. So thanks for tuning in. So again, we still have these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that we have across portions of South Dakota. Right now, though, as we look further south, we kind of come here into portions of Kansas. Things are looking pretty quiet. Starting to see a few storms develop. And then here across Oklahoma, again, we do have that tornado watch. We'll have to keep an eye out for some of these storms here. Just now starting to develop here in these areas. Just west of Seymour, we'll keep an eye on that cell as that'll be moving northeast. That's kind of an interesting one right there. So it's going to be a long night though. Enhanced risk again for these areas. And don't forget, we've got those multiple tornado watches that are out. New mesoscale discussion just now coming out from the Storm Prediction Center. Low probability of watch issuance. This is for eastern Nebraska and portions of the Missouri Valley. They're saying an increase in generally weak thunderstorm activity is ongoing. While there is some uncertainty, the risk for severe weather still appears limited until later tonight. So again, folks, this is going to be a late night into an overnight event. So make sure that you have ways to receive those warnings if you live out in these areas through the overnight hours. Really seeing an uptick between midnight to 3 to 6 a.m. depending on exactly where you live. So it's going to be very interesting dynamics out there across the heartland through the overnight this evening. So hopefully we won't wake up in the morning and hear about too much damage, but it's definitely something where if you're in Kansas, Oklahoma, Central, Texas, much of Nebraska, all of these areas kind of under the threat for severe weather through the overnight hours, and still some lingering severe weather kind of moving through Virginia. That severe thunderstorm watch that was out in those areas has been allowed to expire. But this threat will continue tomorrow. It'll move off to the east during the day, and we'll see a renewed area of severe weather. We'll see that across portions of Iowa into northern Missouri, western Illinois. That'll kind of be the epicenter for our severe weather threat tomorrow, but that'll continue to extend all the way down into Arkansas, even into the Texarkana region, kind of getting into that slight risk area. And then that marginal risk kind of continues, surrounds around that, and then back across portions of West Virginia to Virginia and even North Carolina with that marginal risk for severe weather. So, and then we're also looking at more severe weather continuing on Wednesday across portions of Indiana, Ohio, down into Kentucky and northwest Tennessee. And then we get back here by Thursday, we'll have another system kind of coming through portions of central and eastern Oklahoma that you can see outlined there as well. So We're looking at a couple active days of severe weather across much of the central portions of the country. So be sure to stay with Extreme Weather Videos. Subscribe to us here on YouTube if you haven't. Give that thumbs up for the live streams. And be sure to check us out on Facebook as well. We've got a Discord server as well that you are welcome to. We'll drop a link here. Would love to have you guys join the discussions on there with us as well. So thanks so much for tuning in for this update. Going to be a long night out there in the Heartland tonight. So stay safe out there, and we'll catch you guys on the next live stream. Have a great evening, everyone.